What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news, some unfortunate news concerning David Tua. David Tua was regarded as the Samoan Mike Tyson back in the 90s and most of the 2000s, and he had 59 professional fights over 2 decades. He retired in 2013 with a record of 5 losses, 2 draws, and 52 huge wins. During his boxing career, 43 of his victories arrived by knockout in the ring. Despite his fame and financial gain in boxing, Tua is now reportedly broke. Recently, Roman Harper, former Super Bowl champion, shared a video of David Tua in boxing. Given Tyson and Tua's spirit, strengths, and wills to win, fans always fancied a potential fight between Tyson and Tua in the boxing ring. However, that never came to fruition in life. Reportedly, Tua made a whopping $12 million from his 2000 fight against Lennox Lewis. In fact, according to data available in the public domain, Tua earned nearly $20 million from his career in the professional boxing. Tua had his bright and successful days because of boxing. There was even a time where the former WBO Oriental heavyweight and the WBO Asian Pacific heavyweight champion owned a lavish penthouse in Auckland, among other valuable properties. Unfortunately, as fate would have it, Tua eventually lost his fortune and his hard-earned money. Tua could not hold on to his fortune and gradually lost his money, according to the news. First, David Tua had to pay a huge figure of $4.2 million because of legal bills, and then he paid $2.2 million tax bill while still fighting. Several times he went bankrupt in his life. Tua, who once owned a lavish penthouse, is now homeless today and sometimes sleeps in a car, accumulating his needs. Wow, this is sad. He even had a movement for homeless families. And let me counterpunch. We hear too much of this shit. I mean, we hear far too much of this shit. Roy Jones, he's lost most of his money. Evander Holyfield, same thing. Michael Moore's broke. You know, Shannon the Cannon was broke. It got broke at one time. I don't know what he's doing now. Buster Douglas. It's so many people. Mike Tyson himself was once in a rut, in a mess, depressed, living in less. You know the story. We're hearing and we're seeing too much of this. And it just shows you these fight purses. First of all, how they're dissected and pretty much molested, okay? And I mean by that, like, tax, they take half of it, okay? So let's just be real. The taxes take half, which is highway robbery by itself. Then you have the trainers, the cut men, the promoter, and then they're left with the rest. So what you see on paper, despite them actually paying for taxes on the whole fucking thing, they're only getting half of that, okay? Or not even that, maybe 40% of that. And David Tua was a knockout artist. He's a guy that made a lot of money, had a lot of fights, you know, and it's sad because now he's homeless, and it just shows you that you know where you've been, but you never know where you're going. And this is shocking to me because David Tua is one of my favorite fighters growing up. I remember when he fought and lost to Lennox Lewis. I hope Lennox Lewis is not in that case, but Lennox Lewis is keeping himself busy, being a promoter, being a commentator, and I think what should happen, these fighters should adjust their budget based on what they currently do. Like David Tua, you know, he's a short, stocky guy, 5'9", you know, fucking calf muscles literally this big, right? Like someone of prehistoric age. You know, he should have remained fighting because, like most islanders, you know, they overeat, they eat bad, they stop training, they start living, you know, and then they gain a lot of weight, and then they're like, okay, you can't do much, okay? Seen them, known them, love them, you know, all of that. But David Tua is homeless. I think they need some type of retirement plan, especially based on the amount of damage that they've taken over the years and the risk that they took in over the years. And, you know, just because you're not, or you didn't get hurt up front, that doesn't mean you won't have residual effects. You know, like look at Mickey Ward right now. He's suffering from CTE years after he retired. You know what I mean? So, David Tua is another, I don't know what he did with his money. I hope it wasn't drugs, because if it was drugs and things like that, that means that'll affect his health on down the way. Okay, so let's hope it's not that. But it's sad. It's sad when you have that amount of money and then you lose that type of money. And it also shows that someone, whoever he had on with his books, if anybody, was not doing a good job. And if he was doing it himself, he didn't know what the hell he was doing either, obviously, because, you know, he's supposed to invested some of that money to gain residual money for you in the future. You know, David Tua should have enough from him and his in 3 or 4 generations after that. So it's sad to see him in a situation that he's in. I hope some of these boxers that have benefited from fighting him or whatever, you know, I think like NFL has a program where, you know, a retirement fund, you know, I think boxers should have the same thing. Okay, honestly, but in this case, it would have to be like a global committee. You know, all those damn sanctioning fees that all these sanctioning bodies get, that should go aside to each and every boxer, you know, to help them. Shit. You know, I mean, that's why you're supposed to be, you know, not just to take money from these fighters because you're a bunch of greedy crooks. No, you actually should help these fighters if these fighters were once champions, you know, for your sanctioning body. You know, and a percentage should be put aside for each and every one of them. It'd have to be structured carefully without corruption, because that could easily happen. You have Roy Jones getting a lot more than someone like Chris Bird get, you know, so you have to be fair about it. But it's just sad, man. You guys tell me what you think of David Tua, now homeless after nearly making $20 million in his boxing career. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.